he's super sad about his dead wife and daughter, and he's like exploring this house, and he finds a giant metal door in the basement that he opens, and it leads into a tunnel into the abyss, and he's just like, that's cool, and shuts it. And it's like, what? Not particularly interested about like where that leads and why that's in your house. Cool, fantastic. But meanwhile, he goes up to
now if you go ahead and follow me through here, you can see we have a lot of nice rustic space that cascades into the top. You'll see here in this door here, it leads into the abyss. Comes completely complimentary.
Complimentary door to the abyss.
Already pre-furnished, you won't even have to step into it.
Hello and welcome back to the 128th episode of Good Bad Media Show, where I share movies. You should take. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Chilgo, joined once again by the slightly older Mr. Kyle Hinton.
Everything just feels dark now.
I almost have the hair for this guy. I almost have the hair for one of the main characters in this movie.
Feels like the shadows are taking over the lands. The necromancer.
This is the source of the necromancer's power.
Dude, don't get me started on necromancer.
Necromancer.
Oh, fuck. Well, let's get to it. So this week's episode, we're talking about a film that I don't remember where I found this. I believe somebody recommended it, and I don't remember where. The film is called Fading of the Cries. So Kyle, this film is not available to stream anywhere. I found a trailer for it, and I was very interested in it because it looked terrible.
It looks artistic, we'll put it that way.
And it stars Brad Dourif, which sparked my interest. Brad Dourif, most people our age would know him as Grima Wormtongue from the Lord of the Rings franchise.
How can fire undo stone? What kind of device could bring down the...
But he's been in plenty of other things.
Brian, who else does it star that people would know?
Actually, quite a few people, surprisingly, which I thought was interesting. It stars, and I don't know his name.
Thomas Ian Nicholas.
Is that his name?
Yes.
He's one of the kids from American Pie.
You would know him as one of the guys from American Pie. He was also in Rookie of the Year and a kid in King Arthur's Court.
He's the Rookie of the Year kid.
Yes.
Give them the cheese! Stinky cheddar! Dare you to run! What? What's the matter? Chicken?
I'm not a chicken, you're the chicken. Oh shit, that's right. I forgot.
Sign that kid up.
I forgot about Rookie of the Year. I actually just saw that on TV not that long ago, and my brain did not put together that was that kid. Holy shit. Yeah, him. It also has the little girl, the youngest sister from Seventh Heaven.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look, stop being stupid. I gotta go.
Yes, and finally, I figured this out with like 5 minutes left in the movie. The mom character, she
looked very familiar.
She looked very familiar, and she'd been in a bunch of random things, and then I finally figured out what I recognized her from. She plays the main antagonist, the evil like new girlfriend wife in The Parent Trap, the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap.
What?
She plays like the evil lady in Parent Trap.
Who's trying to bang Dennis Quaid?
Yes.
Hal, this is Meredith Blake.
Hi. Hi, Meredith Blake.
She plays her. And I was like, what? Yeah. So everybody in this movie, other than like Mr. Hair Guy,
I don't know how the writer, director, whatever of this was able to secure these people for this film and get them to agree to this. He had to have had blackmail on each of them.
That or blew the budget on the people and then saved nothing for post-production. It's all I can assume.
He did it all himself.
Yes, did it all himself. That's all I can assume. So like I said, the film, it's not available to stream anywhere. And I got to talk about this because this is the funniest fucking thing in the world to me.
So this is the packaging it came in.
I ordered it on eBay. I found the DVD on eBay and I got it in the mail. And I cannot stress enough that this is how this was actually delivered to me. I'm not going to show you this side because it's got my home address on it. The film, it's a DVD. Yes. Came in this envelope like this. Open with no padding, no nothing.
Nothing.
Just in the envelope. Why would you ship a DVD? Shut it and then put it. Why? Why? So weird. Anyways, been saving that for weeks.
And for the record, everybody who does our fan mail stuff, thank you for at least not doing this.
And I bought
Thank
it.
you for having sense.
The thing that's wild is I bought it from like a movie store in California. It like somebody who ships DVDs regularly shipped. Maybe they were like, I'm trying to save you by get it broken in the mail. They knew. They were like, you won't be able to watch it if I ship it stupidly. But this is it. Fading of the Cries. Starring not Brandon Lee from The Crow.
Yes, it just says thriller on there.
Yeah, it's categorized as a thriller apparently, and that actor's name isn't. He's actually
Jason
the guy on the
something.
cover is not listed in the names.
This is like his first and only film role. I
Yes,
saw him on IMDb.
his name is Jordan Matthews.
Jordan,
It's literally like his only role. Is to play, the Crow, basically, like
Yes.
kind of. So I can't begin to explain what the fuck this movie is, Kyle, because it's incomprehensible.
Yes.
Medellin is waiting.
The plot of this film.
It doesn't even come close to making sense.
Not even a little bit. So we'll get into it. We open up with the guy from American Pie, the Rookie of the Year. His name is Michael in this movie, I believe. He is he's a writer, and he's moving into a new home. And we get the worst
Which he got for dirt cheap.
Got it for dirt cheap. It's this big mansion. And we open up on a
Worst
terrible
CGI.
like green screen composite shot of him against like the background. It's so
Do you think
bad.
they just found this on like Adobe stock or something like that? This house, and we're just like,
Well, the
we can
house-
do whatever we want with it.
The house they have, the house they're in front of, but when they cut to the reverse of him looking at the house, the landscape is all CG composited, and I don't know why that was necessary, but sure, if you felt like it was necessary.
It has been several months since the death of my wife and daughter. I ask God every day why they were taken from me with one swift blow.
So his wife and daughter died. We don't know why yet, but he's moved to be closer to his sister. And he bought this house, and he's also a writer, and he's hoping he can focus on his writing here because his editors have been hounding him for his next novel or whatever.
Goddamn editors.
Goddamn editors.
My publisher figured that purchasing this house would be a distraction from my pain. An obvious attempt at inspiring me to complete a long overdue novel.
Also, IMDb says this was directed by a guy named Stephen McGuire, and it is not. It was directed by Brian A. Metcalf, because that's what the credits say. And that's also what the box says. So I don't know why IMDb says that it was directed by somebody else, because it was Brian A. Metcalf is the name of the director. We get the opening credits, and then we're immediately 14 years later. So like he moves into this house, and then we jump forward 14 years. And boy, Kyle, will we spend a lot of time bouncing back and forth in timelines in this movie.
With like next to no reference.
Yes, very little reference point. And I think that's intentional, but it is kind of annoying. We cut 14 years later, and we are introduced to this Sarah, who's one of our main characters. She's digging through some drawers looking for something. Turns out she's looking for vodka. She's ready to get lit. But she also finds this necklace that her uncle gave her. And we find out in this moment that Michael, the guy from the beginning, the author, is her uncle. And this is 14 years later, and they haven't seen him.
He's dead.
He's dead. Or I guess he's dead. Yeah. We set up some classic mom-daughter tension. They don't get along.
You know, it wouldn't hurt you to call me Mom every once in a while. What are you looking for?
Do you constantly have to pry into my every action?
Because she's not a real mom. I don't even know. Who cares?
No,
it is. They just have classic.
I'm not going to call
mother-daughter.
you Mom. God.
Yeah, they just have classic mother-daughter tension. And the daughter's like, I'm getting out of here to go hang out with Emily. Fuck you.
And I just don't think you should be wearing it until you're a little more responsible.
Oh, come on. How old do you think I am? I'm going to be late.
And she sneaks out, or she leaves the house, and her and her friend, and I love this scene so much because this movie goes from 0 to 11 in like 3 seconds flat.
Why couldn't you just make 10 more attempts and have it go up to 10?
It's got to go to 11, Kyle.
Is it any louder? Well, it's one louder, isn't it?
And so they're walking down the street drinking their clearly water out of a vodka bottle or whatever, chit-chatting, her and Emily, they're talking about how boring their town is, how nothing ever happens here, and then out of nowhere...
her friend gets fucking eaten by a zombie.
By a zombie shows up out of fucking nowhere.
Let's get out of here.
Mauls her friend, and we get a close-up shot of like a CG blood, like in the background, the zombie's like chewing on her neck, and it's like a super terrible CG blood spurt. It's so fucking good. And then out of nowhere, this guy just shows up.
Take my hand.
And is like, come with me if you want to live.
Okay, I can't express how much of like that one guy in high school
a caricature of yes, he is literally that one guy everybody had in high school who wore a trench coat everywhere and who practiced the blade while you were all busy getting laid. Wait, Kyle. Hello, darkness, traumatic flashback memories for you.
I didn't have a sword, but I did have a trench coat.
But he's wearing, yes, a long black, like Neo style, you know, it's not a trench coat, but it is like a duster or something like that kind of thing. And he's got a sweet samurai sword that he has practiced with for years, I guess. We never get any background into why he's
slicing and dicing the zombies, though.
But he whips it out and he only uses it backwards because that's how cool people in anime use their sword is backwards. He so holds it fucking backwards. And he's just slicing up all these zombies. And he walks up to her and is like, "Can you run? Good, because we're about to do a lot of it."
Can you run? Good. We're about to do a lot of it.
And they're like, "Pew!" They take off running. And just all of a sudden, we go from no setup to the entire town is infested with zombies.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. There's hundreds of them all of a sudden. Everywhere. And it's so confusing.
I don't even have a clue what's going on.
And they're running from all these zombies. He's just slicing and dicing them as they go, no matter where they go. And then I love this moment. They get to the end of the street and there's like a wall of 10 zombies in front of them. And she's like, "What do we do?" And he's like, "We gotta go through them."
What do they want?
You. Stay close.
What are we doing?
We have to get away from the streets.
How?
Straight through them. You ready?
And then they run right through them and he just like slices a few and they run through them like, now. Why didn't you just run around them?
There's only like 10 of them.
There's like 10 of them. Like, why didn't you just run around? Okay, sure, fine. You gotta go through them. Cool, good slicing, bro. Well done. Okay. And also, so then we're cut back, and the mom and the younger sister are experiencing this zombie thing, and they're like having issues. She's trying to get in the car, and it seems like all technology has stopped working. Like phones don't work anymore. Her car doesn't work. Nothing seems to work.
Oh, come on.
And they're trapped in their house, and there's just all these like eyeless zombies, and they're all eyeless for some reason. I don't know why that's it. They have like these like black holes where their eyes used to be. Are they even zombies, Kyle? What are they?
Well, they're the dead race.
They do say the dead.
They have a necromancer. Necromancer.
Fucking Kyle.
This is the source of the necromancer's power.
Let's just talk about it now. They call a necromancer a fucking necromancer this whole fucking movie, and it made me want to lose my mind.
This is the source of the necromancer's power.
Necromancer. Necromancer.
That's not how you say that word.
Necromancer.
So then we get a flashback to Rookie of the Year. And he's explaining that he thinks his house he bought is haunted. He's like, "I've been hearing things," and he explains that he's super sad about his dead wife and daughter. And he's like exploring this house, and he finds a giant metal door in the basement that he opens, and it leads into a tunnel into the abyss. And he's just like, that's
What?
cool, and shuts it. It's like, what?
What?
Not particularly interested about like where that leads and why that's in your house. Cool, fantastic. But meanwhile, he goes up
All
to
right,
Lord.
now if you go ahead and follow me through here, you can see we have a lot of nice rustic space that goes cascades into the top. You'll see here in this door here, it leads into the abyss. That comes completely complimentary.
Complimentary door to the abyss.
Already pre-furnished. You won't even have to step into it.
And then he finds the Necronomicon in the floorboards. I mean, it's some sort of Book of the Dead that has spells in it.
They were teaching me spells, and now I can like heat water and shit.
I can break glasses with my hands. Like, he's super magical. And then we cut, so he found a Necronomicon, and we'll find out more about that later. We cut back to our modern time, and we're still running from the zombies. And I love, as they're running through like the woods or whatever, they use the same stock scream, like zombie.
The Willem scream?
It's not the Willem scream, but it's a very similarly famous, like,
yes,
rah, like scream.
Yo, Church, we should be safe in there.
They use it like 6 times in a row in this movie. It's so annoying.
They're hiding out of church.
Yeah, they got to. Yeah, and
I don't know why that yawn hit me.
They get into a church, which is sacred ground, so the zombies can't get in. Supposedly.
Well, about that.
Yeah, well, except for this one thing, who is not a zombie, who is a demon. But he introduces himself. His name's Jacob, because of course it is.
Who are you? Where do you come from?
I'm Jacob.
This demon is in the church. Don't know how it got in, but it's this weird, like, shifty demon that is like. They do a weird effect to make it look
like it's moving
it's moving fast, but it just makes your eyes hurt. Like, it's not really that particularly cool looking. And it's just like he's fighting this thing, and it's like crawling around on the walls. And this movie is the thing that I think is really funny about this movie is how ambitious it is. Like, they try so many like things that somebody should have been like, we don't have the budget to pull this off.
Yeah.
Like demons crawling up walls and like hordes of thousands of zombies running through like the mines of Moria. Somebody should have been like, bro, our budget is $800. We can't do that. He fights this demon, it breaks through the wall, terrible CG slams through the wall of this church, and then turns into a bunch of bats, and then flies back through the door, and there's CG bats everywhere. And they're like, we gotta get out of here. And so they run again.
No, they find a hole under the altar.
They're gonna run out the front door, but there's too many zombies out there. So then they go back, and he seems to know there's this hole, back by the altar that leads.
That goes to the abyss?
Goes to the mines of Moria, Kyle. I cannot stress enough that they climb down this ladder, and he says, oh, this was like old catacombs that they used to like.
Was a mine.
Yeah, but it's the fucking mines of Moria. It goes on forever, and there's like giant columns. It's fucking wild. And again, it's all siege. It's all like green screen, composited landscape.
You think Brad Dourif was just like, I think I've seen this before.
He wasn't in that movie. He was only in the second one, so he didn't get to see the mines.
Damn.
Oh, but God, it is just blue mines of Moria.
And they call it a mine. A mine!
She gets down there, and Brad Dourif is down there. I forgot about that. So she climbs down the ladder first, a ladder that is 8 million miles long into the. It's just by its.
It's just a metal ladder.
Yeah.
Like something that was just cut off an assembly line.
Yeah.
And it's just the whole way down.
Like hundreds of feet they climbed down. Anyway, she gets down there, and Brad Dourif appears. And I don't remember what his character. He's the necromancer. I don't know what his character's name. Matthias or something like that.
Something.
I think.
Who are you?
I am Matthias, necromancer of a fallen light, necromancer.
And he's talking to her, and he's like, you have to give me back the amulet. it was mine, your uncle. And she's like, my uncle gave that to me. He's like, he stole it.
The rune of Saraline set inside your silver necklace. Return it.
And she's like, oh, whatever. Okay, I don't. And she's like, well, why don't you take it? And he's like, you can't, can you?
You can't take it from me, can you?
Only you have the power to end this chaos now.
So apparently she has to give him the amulet. He can't just take it from her.
Yeah, it's like
some made-up rule that this movie decided on.
Fright Night or something like that, where you got to invite the vampire in.
Yeah, that is kind of what it seems. Oh, and this is also where they start introducing a bunch of like lingo that really annoyed me.
I am Mateus, necromancer of a fallen light, the rune of Saraline, the sword of Aves.
Stop. Movie, fuck you. You don't have lore. This movie doesn't have.
What was that? It was another
dip
film.
With deep mythology.
There was another film that we did. It was nothing.
Billy Owens does this constantly.
Specifically.
Power found within Loki's scepter.
What scepter? What is an altar of destiny? I mean, please.
They do that constantly in the first one, at least, where it's like they keep making up fucking nonsense backstory.
The Guardian? The Guardian of what? What does that even mean? This is ridiculous.
It has better CGI than Billy Owens.
A little bit.
It doesn't have Rowdy Piper. So
No.
Fails instantly.
If Rowdy Piper showed up as his character from Billy Owens to fight Brad Dourif at the end of this movie, would have been the greatest thing that ever happened in cinema.
We, your last.
Your soul was lost in the river!
So anyways, Brad Dourif disappears, and then our hero shows up out of nowhere. He doesn't come from the ladder. He's just now in the basement with her. Yeah, and they gotta run. They gotta get out of there. They're like, let's get out of here. And they start running, and then all of a sudden all these zombies start showing up. And again, it's like the Mines of Moria scene where it's like when they're like running out of the mines and there's like all the goblins and stuff are like chasing after them. And this movie's attempt to do like to CG a bunch of zombies running with these like stock assets of people. It's so adorable, Kyle. It's so adorable. They tried so hard.
There, the entranceway. There, climb up! Don't look down!
I love it.
Is it like Neil Breen-esque where it's just copy and paste?
Yes, it's just like copy and pasted assets of like people like, and then they like scale them towards the camera. It's so bad, and I love it so much. They get to this giant wall, and they're like climbing this huge CG rock wall, and there's zombies below them that are also copy pasted stock assets of. It's all so good. I love it so much. They get outside though. They make it outside, and then they're walking through this field, and she's like, I don't see any of them around.
I don't see any of those things around.
And then they're everywhere.
They just appear everywhere around them.
They're everywhere.
They're hunting us.
They see us.
Head for the woods.
And start chasing them again. And for the first half of this movie, they're just running from zombies the whole time. It's so fucking boring.
Brian, do you have enough hair to make a ponytail yet?
I can do a top knot.
Top knot.
I can. That's it though. I can't do a ponytail. It's also really warm and sweaty. I want to cut it.
I am always sweaty.
Oh, apparently though they can't cross water.
Yeah.
They get to a river, a little creek, and they're like, you can't cross
Game
it.
of Thrones. Can they swim?
No.
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And they just cross that, and then they get to a bridge. For whatever. Oh, there's also an inserted really great little CG moonshot. They walk across a giant moon on the horizon, and it's all CG, and it all looks terrible. And I love that this movie thought that was a good thing to put in their movie. Everything this movie does, I applaud the gusto with which they approached this film, thinking that all of this would work. I believe it's also the reason that you can't stream this anywhere. This was distributed by Lionsgate, Kyle. Yep, right there.
What?
Lionsgate.
That's like Stream Central. Wow.
Well, I mean, that's a real company that distributes movies.
It is, but they tend to bring stuff to stream.
I think somebody was like tried to bury this movie, Kyle. I think Brad Dourif hired lawyers, hired people to like bury this movie or something, because you can't find it anywhere, but it's so fucking amazing.
Oh no!
What happened?
Producer Thomas Ian Nicholas.
Oh, good for that guy. He got a producer credit. Rookie of the year. Look at you. Producer of the year. So they get to this bridge, this giant wood bridge, and they fight a bunch more zombies on it. One of them falls through the floor randomly. I don't know what happens. And so they fight. No more distractions, Kyle.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Keep going.
So he murders everybody on the bridge, and then they sleep out underneath the bridge for that night or whatever. And he explains that his family, Jake, she's like, so who are you? Where did you come from? And he explains that his family lived in the house that Michael was in before Michael, and his family was all killed. Mm-hmm. Kyle, this is when shit starts to get confusing. We'll get to it when they get to the end. I don't know if you understood this at all, but I did not.
Also, when we go to the flashback and it's him before he gets like super goth, it's amazing.
It's amazing. It's so good.
His hair,
it looks like a wig. Like, I don't know if it is a wig, but it looks like a wig.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, he's not all super edgy boy goth like Master of the Blade yet. He's just like a dude in a flannel shirt, and it's kind of amazing. And he goes inside and he finds the book. And that's what it was. I wish I could explain the plot of this movie to you all, but I promise you I cannot, because it doesn't make any sense. But Brad Dourif's character left that book there so that eventually somebody would find it and use it to bring Brad Dourif back to life, which is what Rookie of the Year does. It's what Rookie of the Year does. Rookie of the Year all of a sudden becomes obsessed with this book, right?
Yes. He's been reading a journal and he's like wanting to do the stuff in it.
I found this in the attic. Under the floorboards, and it has all these explanations on how to do a bunch of different spells. And
yes, I think that's correct. And he ends up...
He's also going crazy.
He's also going crazy. Like, the book is making him crazy. And he explains that he's going to do a spell. He's been doing little spells, and he shows, like, his sister, who is the mom of Sarah, like some little spells where he like breaks a glass and stuff. But he gets to a point where he's like,
I learned of the background of the necromancer. It appears that he had been studying the spells in hopes of bringing back his wife.
Consumed by this, and he wants to do this big spell, but he has to kill somebody to do this spell.
The next incantation calls for far beyond what I've done before, ending someone's life.
We'll get to that in just a second, because I do have to talk about this one line when they're under the bridge and they're talking about Jacob's backstory and his flashback. We have a little flashback, blah, 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 and then we cut back to them. And I love that she has a line where she goes,
And Jill, my sister, she's with her. At least I don't have to deal with them right now.
And he says to her that...
I envy that you can.
All right, buddy. All right, Mr. Emo.
I envy that you can.
I love the angst. They also completely gloss over. So we get that backstory. His family died. No explanation or mention of how he became a master sword zombie slayer. He's just a normal teenager,
yep.
And then he's like...
Well, that's what the magic spells did. They gave him...
Is that what they did? Well, because later they say he is a spell?
Why did he call you the protection spell?
That's what I am.
Kyle, at the end of this movie, they say he literally is a protection spell. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, fucking get. I guess we'll get there. I don't know.
Why did he call you the protection spell?
That's what I am.
But this is where we find out that he walked into the room up in this flashback and found a monster eating his dad, and then he walks into another room and finds a sexy demon lady eating his mom or sister or something. And we'll come back to this scene later in a way that makes literally zero sense, but we'll talk about it shortly. I got to talk about this scene. Brad Dourif, guys, none of this makes any sense, and it's impossible to keep track of.
You can't follow it.
Brad Dourif is in that room with all the cloth hanging down, and he calls Thrall to him. I think that guy's name is Thrall, one of the demons,
the one with
the
the
mask. His name's
the
Thrall,
sickles?
right? Yeah, the sickles in the mask, and he says, "I need you to go find whoever," and the guy does a flip into the room, and then when he leaves, he does a flip and turns into a flock of crows and flies away.
Whoa, Brian!
A murder of crows.
A murder of crows.
Sorry,
Good Lord!
A murder of crows and flies away. It's fucking amazing. Oh, he sends them to go find Sarah. That's what it is. He says, go find Sarah.
Need you to my eyes and ears.
Yeah, because he can't go out in the sunlight or something. I don't know. I don't fucking care.
All of his stuff works.
All of his stuff works at night, which is what he wants the amulet for. That's right.
He's gonna make it permanently night.
If he gets the amulet of whatever the fuck, the Saraline amulet, he can use it to turn everything night all the time.
It gave the Necromancer the power to control day and night. Each night he'll grow stronger with its control.
If he turns day into night, this town won't survive.
Sarah and Jacob are going somewhere, trying to get home. I don't fucking know. Who cares? They're walking somewhere, and they have to go through a cornfield. And they're walking through this cornfield, and a terrible CG crow flies in and lands.
It's so bad.
And
it's so awful.
I love, she says to Jacob, she's like, "What's that?"
What is it?
And I wanted him to be like a really bad stock CG asset.
Yes, because like the corn is like waving with the wind.
Yeah,
and the crow is like has it's pre-rendered to have its own like fake wind that it's following, and then it won't even get close to syncing up.
Oh, it's amazing. And then it turns out it turns into Thrall. I think his name's Thrall, and I don't know if that's accurate, but I think that's what they call him.
But he gets into a sweet sword fight with this guy with the sickles.
He's got sickles and a really dumb mask. And he ends up winning the fight, and when he slices them, he turns back into crows and flies away. It's like great. And then they get to a barn. They run and they get to a barn because there are more zombies.
Did you realize the interior of this barn? It's exactly the same interior as the church.
Is it?
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Bullshit. I don't believe you.
It's got the same ceiling and everything.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
We're going to look in the attic. We'll see. We'll see. I will say I did have a note that it's very lucky that every building they go into has the same set of like blockade thing on the door that they could put a board into. I did notice that was very similar to the church, but I didn't think it was the exact same.
I always was a little confused on that, why the board for a barn is on the inside. Because what do you keep in the barn?
Animals.
Okay, cool. How, if you're locking it from the inside, how are you getting
in?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. You're right. That doesn't make any sense. Because, yeah, you wouldn't stay in the barn. Like, it makes sense in the church, maybe, because you would be inside when you were, like, barricading it or whatever. But, yeah, the barn, I don't know why you would do it that way. Why it wouldn't be on the outside. Good point, Kyle. You broke this movie's logic.
Damn it.
Well done.
How are we gonna get out of here? I can't take that noise any longer.
So American Pie guy he's gonna summon Salathis or whatever the fuck this demon's name is.
This is my first attempt to raise the demon Salathis.
And in order to do that, he has to murder somebody.
Kill someone.
So he finds
the man responsible for the death of his wife and daughter.
He was a drunk driver, who hit his wife and daughter and killed them. And I guess he didn't get in trouble for it. He brings him home.
20 points.
Yeah. Brings him home, makes him a drink, and puts crushed glass in it.
So I offered him another drink.
He crushes a glass with his bare hands, puts it in the glass, and gives it to the guy. And the guy drinks it and doesn't realize he's drinking broken glass? Yep. Which, look, I've been pretty knackered in my life at times. I've never been, don't realize you're drinking broken. What?
Say that again.
Knackered?
There we go.
Yeah, it's a fun word. I don't know if that's the right word. It's a word you can use for it.
It's a very English word.
Yeah, I feel like it is an English word. I wanted to use a whimsical word for it.
Also, knackered is to be like tired.
Is that it?
I'm pretty sure.
Sure. Whatever. I'm going with knackered, Kyle. I've been pretty knackered in my life at times. Never once have I been to the point where I like not realized that I was drinking broken glass. Like he drinks it. And I guess what I thought was going to happen is he was going to drink it and then like chew it like ice and be like
that, or drink and be like, ugh.
Yeah, or immediately. But no, he drinks it and then it's slow acting glass. Like
man, that is super smooth.
Giving me a little
can't feel the alcohol get into the open wounds in my digestive system now.
Yeah. But he starts coughing up blood, and the
sexy demon chick,
sexy demon lady shows up with her giant tongue, and boy, what's his name? Rookie of the Year is really going for it in this scene. He's like, this is his Oscar moment.
How did it feel? Killing my family and destroying my life.
Sexy demon shows up. Brad Dourif and a masked dude turn into dust and teleport somewhere. I love this moment. So we haven't really talked about it, but Seventh Heaven daughter and the mom have been dealing with zombies off and on throughout the course of the movie. And they get to the morning and all the zombies during the day, they're dead bodies basically. And I love they just have to drag them all to their front yard.
It's amazing. Well, they do that, and then after they've taken out like body number 6 or whatever, they finally look up and they're like, "Oh my God! Look, all of our friends and family are dead."
Everybody we know is dead. That sucks, I guess. And they seem very unfazed by having drug a dozen bodies into their yard.
They have a little girl. They just leave in the house.
Leave in the house, this little girl, and the mom is like, "Oh, we got to get this little dead girl. Where'd you go?"
Okay, this is the last of them. You want to give me a hand? Jill.
A Seventh Heaven, whatever your name is, we got to get the dead girl out of our foyer. And they're like, okay. But then she goes to find her, and Brad Dourif has captured whatever the character is, the Seventh Heaven actress.
Jill.
And yet another bloodline.
Has captured her and has her at cane point, which again, he's holding the cane to her neck like he's going to slice her neck with a cane.
The cane is the only thing it's capable of doing is knocking out the mom.
Oh, Mom!
Yeah,
it is mom. It's got mom bane +6.
He thwacks her right in the head with it, and she's like, that shit made me laugh so hard because it was so unexpected. It just came out of nowhere. She's just sitting there, and he's just like, whack, and she's just like,
okay, I'm not.
Jacob shows up with Sarah. They get there just in time to have a standoff. And I don't remember, let's see.
Sarah gives him the necklace.
Please, please.
Meanwhile, Jacob's fighting some other demons. But he gets the necklace and they get away. And sexy demon lady, I think, dies. I think Jacob kills her because we get a sweet CG fire, like a Buffy level, like turning into fiery ash.
What have you done?
I love how edgy and angsty he is in this movie. He's so angsty. It's fantastic.
But now he's a man on a mission.
And he's like, I'm going to save your sister. And she says, will I ever see you again?
I mean, come with me.
Yeah, no, she doesn't come with them. I thought she was going to go with them. Nope, she stays there with her mom to watch her mom get eaten by zombies. Which her mom gets fucking eaten by zombies. The little girl bites her arm, and then another person bites like her leg or something. She gets bit several fucking times. It's hilarious. As he's leaving though, she kisses him and says for luck, and then she walks away and he turns and we hear an 80-yard goodbye. Goodbye. Ever so quiet, angsty little goodbye. I love it. I love it so much. We talked about how Michael, we cut flashback to Michael's timeline, and he's now being haunted by, even though he sacrificed that drunk guy to bring back Brad Dourif, now Brad Dourif is using the demons to try to kill Michael, and he has to stab sexy demon lady in the eyeball. I don't know what any of this means or what happens or what the point is. Also, then he gets killed. Michael gets killed, I think. And Brad Dourif says to him, the prophecy has failed to come true.
The prophecy has failed to come true.
And I was like, Kyle, what fucking prophecy? What are they talking about? There's like 800 pages of script, and they shot 140 of them. And then we're like, here you go. I guarantee that's what it's incomprehensible.
It just was written down and down and down and down to nothing.
Yeah. I love when Sarah gets back inside after saying goodbye to Jacob. She finds her mom, who, mind you, just got whacked on the fucking head and knocked out cold. She has come to and is sitting on the floor of the kitchen chugging vodka.
You really need to stay sober, and you need to back off right now.
We cut to Brad Dourif keeping Seventh Heaven Girl hostage. He explains to her that he wants revenge because the town that they're in killed his wife and child.
Sins.
Against me, against my wife, and my unborn child.
And Brad Dourif, props, fucking going for it in this.
He is maniacal.
Every scene he fully commits for this garbage tier movie that surely he knew. Surely while on set he knew, oh boy, this isn't going to go well.
What is my character's motivation for this? Your wife and your child were murdered by this town. I mean, is that in the script?
No.
Can we add it?
No.
Maybe just like a
line. Nope. Just say that your wife and child were killed and you want revenge.
Maybe like a...
Shut up.
An epilogue?
Brad Dourif.
Prologue?
Brad Dourif. We're paying you a lot of money to be here. Brad Dourif, we have 2 hours to shoot all of your scenes. Please stop talking and just act.
Stolen from me by him. And for that I cursed his bloodline, your bloodline.
And boy, does he act, let me tell you.
I will cease your existence!
He turns it into night. He turns it because it's daytime when this is all happening. He slams his staff, turns it into night because he has the amulet. Mom gets her arm chomped by a zombie. And then Jacob shows up and starts murdering everybody with sword slices.
There's a point where he's in a field running backwards.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
And there's so many zombies.
And they're all CG zombies. He has like a moment where he slices 5 at once with one slash, and then he's running from just hordes of terrible CG asset zombies. It's amazing. And then he's running, and he keeps running through these fully CG rooms and doorways, and then the zombies keep breaking through them, and it looks so bad. Eventually, though, he gets to the door. The iron door from the abyss hallway from the beginning of the movie, which is in this house. And he gets up, and he's going to save Seventh Heaven sister now. And he gets up there, and he squares off with Brad Dourif. Actually, because they weren't filming in the same location that day, I think, he gets up there and his Seventh Heaven Girl is sitting there and she points to a different room and goes, "They're right there."
Over there.
So, how is it you cheat death so openly?
And then the camera swings around, and I think she was not on set when they filmed that moment. So she had to be like, "They're over there, not next to me. We're not in the same room. They're over there." And then we gotta go jump. Anyways, it's funny. Oh, the Predator's there to kill him. The Predator, the teleporting
he's got,
Predator
like,
zombie thing.
hair.
It has like the Predator hair, and it's like teleporting, and he slices it into like 30 pieces. Yeah. And then as Jacob's running through the house, we have this weird like timeline colliding thing where he starts seeing Michael.
Yeah.
And who's telling him things, and I don't understand how any of this makes sense at all. Like, he tells him to duck from the past.
Duck.
There's no setup for any of this or how any of this makes any sense, but he starts talking to him from the past, I think,
This is where the movie, like, this is where all the actions happen at once.
And it gets, it's already incomprehensible. Yeah. I have to talk about this moment because I don't know what the fuck it was. So we then flash back to that moment again where Jacob saw his family die. He runs into the room, sees the one kill his dad or whatever. Then he runs into that other bedroom and sees sexy demon lady eating his mom or sister or whatever. And then he falls into the room and gets eaten by the Predator. And then another version of him appears in the doorway and sees himself being eaten. And Kyle, I don't know if it's supposed to be magic or he's twins.
Maybe it's like he's haunting?
I don't know. And the movie
refuses
to explain what the fuck is happening here. But he watches himself die. And then he gets back to the current timeline, even though it's all happening at the same time. And he fights the thrall guy again, who ends up being Michael.
Yeah.
He knocks his mask off, and it's the author, Michael guy, and he cuts his throat with his sword and says, "Be free," or whatever. It just murders him, and it's like, you're free now.
Find your peace.
None of this makes any sense. Then we cut back to the mom, who is now dying from the zombie bites. She's very cold. She gets a blanket, and then, whoop, she comes to.
Oh no, she is Zambi.
She's a zombie. I don't like that you said that and then I did. She's a zombie. That was weird. I was like, sure, I'll do that. I'll yes and you. And I was like, nope, that was dumb. Don't like it.
Okay. All right.
She's a zombie now, and I love this scene. Sarah sits there and has to sobbingly beat her mother to death with a fucking fireplace poker.
Dead, yeah.
No! Please, Mom, please stay down. Mom!
Sorry, beat her to undeath again with a fireplace poker. It's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. It shouldn't be funny, but it really is. And then we cut back, and him and Brad Dourif sword fight constantly. And as this is happening, Brad Dourif breaks a hole in the ground in this house, which then
opens to the abyss.
Yes, seventh heaven starts falling into. And then our guy kind of defeats Brad Dourif. He breaks his necklace. And then the sister falls into the hole.
Yes.
And I thought it was going down like 2 stories to like the ground. No. It's infinity deep. It goes, like you said, down into the mines of fucking Moria. He dives from the top, and it's all terrible CG.
It's so good.
It's so bad.
It's so good. Like what they probably did was they had a some sort of like desk or something painted green that he was on, so he was like this.
Yeah.
And they just stuck a fan under him.
And he catches her and then flips around and lands on the ground. So he hits the ground first. She would still be fucking dead. Like, she would still be fucked. The energy transfer would still be there, but whatever. It's a thing that happens. And she asks him, she's like, how the fuck did you survive? And this is when he says,
Why did he call you the protection spell?
That's what I am.
and I'm like, what does that even mean? You are a protection spell? You're not a person? Are you a person who's also a spell? I don't understand. They get back to the house.
Zombies everywhere.
Zombies everywhere. The little sister gets in and is like, Mom?
Mom? Mom?
Mom? And I'm like,
where?
She finds her body, and I was like, I got bad news for you. I had to cave her face in with a fireplace poker. But turns out Sarah's also dead.
Just not zombified.
Because the spell broke, I think.
Yeah.
But she kind of has a little bit of the
mortally
zombie.
wounded is like, oh, I'm not gonna come back as a zombie, but I'm still dead.
She's dead.
Okay.
And the sister asks him, like, aren't you a protection spell? And he's like, yeah, but I couldn't save her.
You're supposed to be the protection spell.
I know.
Or something. And he touches the sister's shoulder, and then he leaves.
Yeah.
And I thought he was gonna do something that would bring her back, or like he was gonna like sacrifice himself, do some magic from the book or something. No, Kyle, the way this movie ends, he goes back to the house where Brad Dourif still is alive, and Brad Dourif's sitting there like losing his mind.
As long as I have you, I can get them back.
I'm here. I don't even remember what he says other than the final line, which is a title of the movie drop. Yep. He says,
"No fading of your cries!
No fading of your cries," and then starts slashing him with the sword
over and over and over.
And the camera pulls back and then up into outer space as he continues to slash him. And I think the implication is that he's going to spend eternity slicing Brad Dourif up as punishment for murdering Sarah, and his cries will never fade because they'll be eternal. I think.
Anyways, he throws a ball from the outfield to the home plate.
And the Angels win the World Series, and he wins Rookie of the Year, and it's the best movie ever.
He played for the Cubs.
I'm thinking of Angels in the Outfield. Fuck. That's right, he did play for the Cubs. Kyle, this movie is bad, but not. This one's really tough. I found it boring.
It is insanely boring, but the CGI is
so bad,
awful.
And fucking what's his name? Brad Dourif is he's not in it a ton, but he's so over the top. If it was a little less boring, it would easily be good bad. I think I have to still put it on bad because I found it boring. But man, the CG is just a CG master cut is all you need of this movie. If somebody can edit, well, it would have to be me because I'm the only person that owns a copy of this movie. Apparently,
it's the only copy that exists.
It's so close. I liked a lot about it, but I was just too bored. Anyways. We're gonna go with bad. As always, you can do us a giant favor. Head over to patreon.com/GBorBB. Support us for however much you want. We get access to different stuff. including burps like that. I'm gonna cut that out. I have a podcast called This Film Is Lit. We're talking about movies that are based on books. When this episode is out, the most recent episode will have been that thing Katie told me it was gonna be that I forgot about an hour ago. What the fuck did she say? Last one was Born Identity. This one is it's the Philip K. Dick Radio Free Album Youth, a thing I've never heard of. It's Philip K. Dick though, so go check it out. That episode. Kyle.
Also, TeePublic.
Oh yeah, we're both wearing them right now.
Sporting the gear.
You go to tpublic.com, search for Good Bad or Bad Bad or Quantum Physics or whatever, and you should be able to find it. And you can buy all kinds of good stuff. There's a pillow. There's a I don't know. I think there's a pillow somewhere. T-shirts.
Oh, man, look at that.
Pillows.
It's so comfortable.
It's so nice. Such a
My
nice
God,
pillow.
I can sleep so well knowing that I have Good Bad or Bad Bad to keep me company.
Yeah, look at that. Perfect. Brilliant. So you can buy all that kind of stuff, and that all supports the channel. Also, you can watch us on Twitch sometimes. They're on the screen right now. You don't have to remind me to say
Also, the other thing was the movie. My movie finally came out. Brian took it away from me.
Again, I had to take it away from Kyle because he's easily distracted. It's interviewing monsters and Bigfoot. In movie stores now. This is a hard copy. You can get a real DVD.
It is a physical copy that you can get.
Starring Tom Green, Les Stroud, and Jesse Combs, among others. Anyways, you can check that out. Go and bargain bins near you or streaming on Amazon. What? That's where it's gonna. Is this gonna be on the high roller shelf, Kyle? Is this gonna be a $30 exclusive?
You're telling me that Colin and I have that in common, that our movies are gonna be in bargain bins all over the world?
Yes, that's where you buy quality material such as this film. I said it's quality, Kyle. I'm being complimentary. Until next time, keep watching movies. Maybe. You won't be able to find it, so you won't be able to watch it. Fading of the Cries. Your cries will never fade. Slice. Slice.
No fading of your cries!